It's a new week, and I still would like to ask, how did you program your mind this week? They say we should always be in a constant state of learning. And this week, I dove back into Regan Hillyer's Art of Manifesting. And this is week 2 with this quest from Mindvalley. If you don't know what Mindvalley is, I encourage you to check it out in the description and the comment section. You can try Mindvalley for free and see if you like any of the quests they offer. Let's get into the video. So let me walk you down the process of this quest for this week. This quest, I'm still doing it with a class, so it does ask you to comment and share experiences, but I'm just gonna give you guys some of the things that we did this week. So to manifest the things you want in life, Regan breaks it down to the categories, as I spoke about in the last video, the different categories of your life, and you need to have an accurate assessment of those categories. And if you didn't check out the last videos, those categories are health, wealth, relationships, contributions, mindset, emotion, purpose, spirituality, and passion. And starting out this week, she has us go through and gauge where we are in life with each one of those categories. A lot of times people don't really realize where they're lacking. So in the previous week, we were asked to focus in on one of these key categories of our lives, so we can develop that and really focus on that with this quest. Focus is fine, but is easier to make sure that you're focusing in the right area of your life when you write down the assessment of all of your categories, so you can know where you're lacking. So again, she asks us to go through and rate each category 1 through 10. So if you think you're at a 10, of course, that means you're perfect in the category. You know, we always can improve things. So you have health if you're a 10, or wealth if you're a 10. Like I said, if you're a 10 in any of these things, you definitely need to give some people some of your secrets, right? And she even says that too, because that means you're perfect in this area. Once you give a true assessment of these areas of your life, then she further breaks it down by saying that whatever you are accepting, and if you have a category that is low, you have to understand that our minimum standard is what we're willing to accept, right? So if you are lacking in one of these areas and you might rate yourself a 5 or a 3, that is currently your minimum standard. That's what you allow that category to be, right? That's kind of a self-belief. You are allowing yourself to be that. And it's important to know what you're willing to tolerate. Let's say wealth, for example, or just, money. Let's say you're willing to do the work for a certain level of pay, right? If you set that standard and you'll never accept anything lower than that standard, and you put it in your mind that that is your standard, more than likely you will make that money. If someone else has a different mindset, said, I will accept whatever as long as I'm getting paid. I will do this as long as I'm getting paid. It's better to have something than nothing. And if you have that mindset, you are more willing to accept anything that someone throws at you, because you have the mindset, this is better than nothing. I will accept anything as long as I'm working and making some type of money. But if you set the bar high for yourself and say, I'm not going to accept anything lower than this for my talents, for my skills, I'm not going to accept anything lower than this, you're more than likely going to look for jobs only in this range that you said was your minimum standard, right? You won't go for jobs that pay lower. And thinking that way will lead you to attract exactly what you want because your minimum standard is this. And if you say, this is my standard, I'm not going lower than this standard, more than likely you will attract or manifest exactly what you're willing to accept. So a lot of times people think about manifesting, oh man, this might be a little bit of magic, but the way Regan breaks it down is a great way to change your mindset and really get into your psyche about how to manifest and what you're really saying when you say, hey, this is my standard. I'm going to manifest it at this level. I'm not going to accept anything less. It's a mindset that goes into the manifesting too. So that's why I like how she breaks it down. And once you have your minimum standard or know your current minimum standard, she asks you to write out new standards. So go into your categories and see and like, I've been accepting a 5 right here. You know what? I'm going to do a 6 or 7 right here in this area of my life. And once you do that, you're asked to write down what commitments you're going to be willing to make to get that minimum standard up. And of course, she's going to ask you to share it with the tribe. And coupled with this session is a powerful activation. I do like these activations. If you have the time to sit and actually go through the activation, you will feel different after you go through these activations. And it might even just make you start to think more deeply about situations, right? So I encourage you to go through these. And if you haven't been through any type of meditation or activations like these before, you're in for a treat. I really enjoy Mindvalley's meditations and activations. When I have the time to go through them, I love them. That was one session. The next session with Regan really just fortifies the previous session. So we talk about alignment and being clear on our intentions, anchoring our intentions and being in alignment is really what we talk about in this session. I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard the term alignment a lot in the manifestation realm and meditation realm. And really, this just means that you have your goals in order, your intentions, your goals, and everything you're doing, you have it in line and in order. So not just having the goals is going to work, right? Your intentions, daily intentions are going to have to be in alignment. And for this session, she also asks us to write out what our short-term and long-term goal for manifesting is. So short-term, she breaks it down to just say for the next 30 days with this quest, right? With this quest, write down what you plan to achieve from this quest. What category are you trying to improve on? And what would that look like in 30, 40 days, right? Short term. And then she says, write out a date that says in the future, it could be a year, by the end of the year. It could be 6 months from now. You're going to know what you want to write and how you're going to know that whatever category you have set out to improve has improved. You're going to know because you're intentional, and you should already know what the success looks like in that category for yourself. So she asks us to write down the short term, write down the long term, and of course, share it with the community. And the key here is being clear on your intentions. Know exactly what you want. If it's a certain dollar amount, say I'm going to make X, Y, to Z dollars by XYZ date, right? Be clear. Don't say, okay, yeah, I hope to make a lot of money, right? Be clear on exactly what you want. That helps to give yourself that gauge when you're trying to manifest it. If you don't really define what you want, you won't know, and you can't draw it to you if you don't even know what that success looks like. So I really did like this session too. Okay, and my notes are a little foggy, but it was either in this session or the next session where we go through an activation where you are visualizing your future self. Not just your future self, but the version of yourself where you actually got exactly what you wanted to manifest, right? You see your future self and you are noticing the things around you, what's around you, what things you learned, who's around you, things like that. And I'm telling you, this activation meditation was really, really powerful. So if you aren't used to meditations and things like that, you're gonna be in for a treat. I really like this activation, and you feel different after your intention, and it does rewire your thoughts a little bit after you go through this activation. And for people that don't really know what they want, going through this will really help you see and realize what you want, right? So of course, to see your future self, you got to know what you want, and that is really the key component to this session, and the key component to manifesting exactly what you want in your life. And we're asked to write how we felt. Did we feel a shift or anything like that? And if you did or didn't, whatever you felt, share it with the community. And it's neat to see what other people think about these meditations after they go through it. Again, some people might not feel anything, but I definitely know that was powerful. And if you haven't been through this type of meditation, it's great. And that is one thing about Mindvalley that is awesome. So right now we're going through these sessions, but I think that everyone sometimes needs a little boost or reminder to be clear on their goals. So this is the session we're going through, and you can keep going through these sessions whenever. That's why I think Mindvalley's courses and quests are really priceless, because I went through this before, I've been through this course, but going through it again really just solidifies and refreshes you on exactly what you want. So I do think that these courses and quests are priceless. And even if you don't go through the course all the way, the meditations, Mindvalley has these meditations and activations that work, and you can just dive into them. And these are meditations and activations that are given by professionals. So let's say you went to a therapist or something like that, and you needed to go through some type of meditation or some trances. These are professionals that are giving it. So just that by itself makes Mindvalley's platform priceless. Look, just my 2 cents. Let me tell you about the next session. Okay, so the next session after that is all about increasing your capacity. So whatever you want in life, or whatever you're trying to manifest, if you don't have it right now, or something might be limiting you from getting it, this session is all about making sure you realize you need to up your capacity and make room for these new changes. Right? So if you want something new, you're going to have to install new hardware in your mind, right? She breaks it down and said, think about your mind as a computer, right? If your mind is a computer, the greatest architect in the world did make our mind, right? But if your mind is a computer, right, you have to go in sometimes and delete old things to add new things, or you have to make a new folder for new information. So she has us really go through and think about different containers in our mind and make space for these new changes or new things that you want to bring to yourself. Make spaces for these things in your mind. And that's what this whole session is about. And there is a powerful activation where you actually visualize, making space in your mind for these things to be manifested. And I think this session was powerful, and I like how she broke it down to thinking about your mind as a computer, right? It makes a lot of sense, right? Whenever you want to download or update something, they say we are, the greatest mind computer. We humans are that, and our mind is so great. It's like a supercomputer if we use it right? But even computers have to go through updates. And she breaks this down as, if you want something new and you want to bring something new, you're going to have to update yourself. You're going to have to update your software, your mental software. And again, I think this was a powerful session. The next session really piggybacks off the last session, as you have to fortify what you just said, right? So the next session is all about installing and reprogramming your mind with new beliefs. We're asked to write down 30 empowering beliefs that we want to install into our mental. And when you write these 30 empowering beliefs, you want to write them in the present tense. So if you are in this quest to manifest money, right? You want to say something like, I am grateful for being able to provide for my family. I am grateful for being able to manifest abundance. I am grateful for all the wealth that I have now. I am grateful that wealth is coming to me. I am grateful that money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. I am grateful for the ability for wealth to come to me. Things like that, right? 30. And of course, I was just talking about wealth. You can be grateful for a lot of other things. I am grateful that I am able to take care of my family financially now. I am grateful that I am building wealth for my family now. Make sure you say it in the present tense. So when you rewire your mind, you're talking about it like it already happened. Not just with this course. A lot of people that I follow in this realm, that's a big thing. A lot of times people say, I want to do this. I want to do that. They say your mind really doesn't know the difference, right? That your mind doesn't know the difference is what you put in it. So if you're saying, I want, you're saying you don't have it now, right? You're saying that it's not there yet. It's not there. But when you say like present tense and say that you have it now, you're rewiring your mind and you're installing a belief that you are wealthy. You can be wealthy instead of saying you want. That means you don't have it and you're always going to be in a state of not having. So it's not just Regan that I heard say this. A lot of people say you have to talk in the present tense. So we're asked to write all 30 of them down, right? And then after you write down those empowering beliefs, you are asked to, go through this sleep meditation. So you're asked to have the headphones on and you go through this sleep meditation. That meditation was okay, but for me personally, it wasn't as powerful as the other meditations. I'm gonna say that because I'm not the type of person that sleeps long. The meditation was like 8 hours long. I don't get a solid 8 hours of sleep, so I'm not gonna have those headphones on 8 hours. But I can't say it was super effective for me, but some people in the tribe did say they went through it and it was great. But I think for me personally, because I don't sleep as much, I didn't get as much from that. But again, it was mainly just to help you rewire your mind to believe what you just wrote. those beliefs that you just wrote down, that you say that you want in your life to empower yourself, you're asked to write them down and use the sleep activation to help install that into your subconscious. All right, in the last session that I went through this week with Regan Hillyer in the art of manifesting from Mindvalley. So this last one was all about alchemizing energy, right? Don't let me lose you on the words, but alchemizing energy. So everyone knows energy isn't really destroyed, it's transferred into different energies and different things. Energy isn't really destroyed. So in this session, what we are doing is taking those beliefs that don't serve us, those self-sabotaging beliefs, those fears, those doubts. Like, even if you're going through this quest, you might be like, man, this isn't gonna work. Or you might have in the back of your mind, whatever you're trying to achieve, man, I'm doing this for nothing. Or whatever you have that could be a self-sabotaging belief, something that is holding you back. A doubt, a fear, a worry, overthinking, stuck emotions, anything that's self-sabotaging your patterns, or like I said, limiting beliefs. Whatever those are, we're asked to write them down first. Write them down, write what could be keeping you from manifesting exactly what you want, right? Whatever it is you wrote down, what are some beliefs or doubts, or like I said, some overthinking that you might have that could limit you from achieving what you want. So after you write those down, we're asked to go into this meditation, right? And in this meditation, we will be alchemizing those beliefs, those doubts, those worries into positive energy, right? We will be going through and transmuting them into new forms of energy that can serve us. And we will be releasing some of those doubts and beliefs. So of course, I'm not the expert, right? But Regan goes in deep about how to do this. And those words might sound tricky, right? But really, you're doing no more than what like a therapist would do, right? I feel like going through this is kind of like therapy a little bit. You are finding exactly what you have that could be holding you back, and you're trying to use or change that negative thought or belief into something that can serve you. So you go through these activations and these trances so you can really visualize what that looks like. So you'll go into this powerful meditation trance and you'll visualize these doubts and beliefs that could, be sabotaging you. And you'll visualize yourself changing them into positive beliefs. It's very, very, very powerful. And again, I love all of these activations. If you have the time to sit down and go through them, you really do feel cleansed, or you feel different after you go through them, right? So that's what this session was about. Taking those doubts, those ideas that might not serve you, those, so we always have doubts about a lot of things we do, but doubts and fears, everyone has those, right? Is being able to have those doubts and fears and still push forward that makes people great, right? It's not that, that person that did X, Y, and Z, they didn't have fear. They were fearless. They probably had fear. They probably had a lot of fear. But guess what? Heroes do it anyway. Any successful person, hero, or anything, they always have doubts and, fears, but they press through, and that is what makes them great. So again, this session was powerful. So that wraps up this week with the art of manifesting with Regan Hillyer. And again, I encourage you to check it out. If you haven't checked it out, I'm going through it and I'm breaking it down for you exactly what it is. So in case you had doubts, or in case you're thinking about going through Mindvalley, you can check out the videos and see what I'm talking about. If you like what you hear, I encourage you to check it out. It definitely opens your eyes up to, what you're willing to accept. And I can definitely understand how these sessions can help one manifest exactly what they want in their life. But again, I'm only halfway through. I got to make it through. So make sure you come back and check me out if you want to learn more about the art of manifesting with Regan Hillyer by Mindvalley. I see you next week. Peace.